Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. In today's session, we will be seeing how should we behave with our gurus and what are the niyamas, rules to be followed by a guru. Guru is a power, a light principle that sometimes operates through a person. This powerful principle is called Guru Tattva. When personified, it becomes an individual guru. So let us begin this session by looking at why do we need a guru in the first place. Na vina guru sambandham gnanasyadhigama smritaha. You need light to dispel darkness. If there is darkness in a room, you bring a source of light there. If you want to dispel darkness in the inner space, if you want to remove avidya and move from darkness to light, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, you need light. Guru is this light that dispels the darkness within. Without Guru, you cannot get Vidya. In fact, if Guru is the light, then Guru is the very Jnana that you are seeking. Guru and Jnana are not different. That is why Guru Tattva or the Sadguru is attributed with the Sarvajnatvam, the all-knowing faculty. You really cannot separate Jnana and Guru. This power can reach the seeker in many different ways, sometimes even through an inner inspiration or inner voice. I am sure most of us have been in the field of this power and have experienced it some way or the other. Every aha moment of realization is the gift of the Guru Tattva. We are constantly in touch with this power as we continuously learn and teach in our lives. We are receptors and transmitters of knowledge depending on the situation. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Dattatreya in the form of an Avadhuta Brahmana speaks about 24 gurus. Most of them are teachers from nature, the sun, the moon, ocean, wind, honeybee, wasp, arrowsmith, and even a prostitute. Wisdom is being broadcasted. When you tune to that channel, you receive the transmission. There is a great deal of mysticism around Guru and Shishya. There are so many gurus guiding people in this world. There are many Guru Lakshanas, characteristics of a true Guru, and even that of a disciple. The most famous shloka describing the Guru is Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnuhu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru is said to be Brahma and Vishnu and Maheshwara. Guru is said to be Sakshat Parabrahman, which means there is no difference between God and the guiding light. What more characteristics need to be analyzed to know the power of Guru? So the focus in this session is not on who is Guru and what are the characteristics of a Guru and Shishya. In this session, we will be looking at how to approach a Guru and how to conduct ourselves with the Guru so that we can benefit ourselves and move into light. Sadbhakta rakshanayaiva nirakaropi sakritihi Shivah kripa nidhirloke samsari vahi cheshtate. Out of compassion to save the Sadbhaktas, the true seekers, the Guru Tattva, though nameless, formless, genderless, takes form and moves in this world as a person called Guru. This manifestation of the Guru Tattva is such a mystical and subtle phenomenon that it is very hard to put it in terms of a process. Also, this manifestation is manifold. It happens many times, in many places, through many people. That is why we have so many gurus in this world. And in this Kali Yuga, Guravo Bahavasanti Shishya Vittapaharakaha Durlabhoyam Guruhu Devi Shishya Dukkhapaharakaha. There are even impostors calling themselves Guru. They loot innocent disciples. We find such impostors very easily. But it is very difficult to find true Guru who annihilates the darkness of dukkha, shoka, and moha in a disciple's life. When there are so many Gurus, whom do I approach? Guror yasyaiva samparkat paranandobhijayate. Gurum tameva vrunuyan naparam matiman naraha. In whose company you experience an inexplicable inner peace and divine joy, Paramananda. Accept that person to be holding, channeling the Guru Tattva. Take this person as Guru. Just like sandalwood tree spreads its fragrance to the nearby trees, by being merely in the company of such a Guru, one can be ferried to light. It is like the law of association. Every learning we have had is a gift from the Guru. Every push we have received is from the Guru. Every single inspiration is from the Guru, and every time we fall, we stand up because the Guru pulls us up. This invisible force is always with the true seeker, whether it has crystallized into a form called Guru or not. But most often, the dense darkness is so intense that the force is compelled to crystallize and appear as a form to lead and guide. Ye dattva sahajanandam haranti indriyajam sukham sevyaha te guravaha shishyaihi anye tyajyaha pratarakaha. All of us inherently have Atmananda, eternal joy within us. Like the musk deer has its scent within itself. Guru brings this Atmananda to the experiential plane of the Sishya. Guru brings it to his notice. He removes the defects and faults in the Shishya so that the Shishya is purified. Such a person who can purify a Shishya and elevate a Shishya to see his true inner self must be taken as the Guru. Should there be only one Guru in a person's life? We can receive motherly affection from many, but we are born out of only one mother. Similarly, we can get jnana from many different Gurus. But there is only one cosmic Guru who delivers our divine rebirth. Remember, God and the guiding light are not different. Keeping this in mind, also know that Madhulubdho yatha bhringaha pushpat pushpantaram vrajet gnanalubdha tatha shishyaha guror guruvantaram vrajet. Sometimes one contact with this principle of light is enough for a lifetime and more. But sometimes we need to meet this principle again and again in various forms. Just as the honeybee, drunk with the nectar, moves from one flower to another flower, the seeker too, with the thirst of knowledge, moves from one Guru to another. This does not mean you keep changing the Guru. It only is a permission for those seeking various knowledge to be able to receive it from various sources. Now that you know how to distinguish a Guru, the natural question is what next? Once you have found this Guru Tattva, once you have found the Guru itself, you simply love, surrender and serve the Guru. You prepare your lamp, prepare the oil and the wick. Gather all these ingredients in one place and wait for the Guru to light your lamp. Yatha khanan khanitrena naro varyadhigacchati tatha gurugatam vidyam shushrushur adhigacchati. Just as we dig the earth deeper and deeper and at one point find water, we serve the Guru with more and more surrender and we are blessed with knowledge. There are so many stories of great saints who were not the intellectual kind, who attained the divine bliss only through their service to their Guru. When Adi Shankaracharya was at Sringeri, he accepted a disciple endowed with great humility named Giri. Giri had neither scriptural learning like Sureshwaracharya and Padmapadacharya, the other disciples of Adi Shankara, nor he had the inner realization of Hastamalakacharya. However, Giri served his Guru like a devoted servant, attending to every single personal need of the Guru. He found great pleasure and inner joy in looking after and serving the Acharya. His co-disciples naturally entertained a lesser idea of his intellect. Even Padmapadacharya was not free from this misconception. Once, when Giri had gone to the river for washing clothes, Shankaracharya waited for his arrival before he would begin his exposition. The other disciples were impatient. Padmapadacharya could not restrain himself. He said, "Why should we wait for one who is no better than a wall?" Sri Shankaracharya naturally did not relish this remark, and the principle of light decided to descend like a bolt, and Adi Shankara blessed the devout Giri. So, by a mental flash, he endowed Giri with knowledge of all the Shastras. When Giri returned from the river, he was literally in bliss, divine bliss. He sang the praise of the Acharya in a few brilliant stanzas in the Totaka meter. Since then, Giri got the title Totakacharya. The stanzas became famous as Totakashtakam. Totakacharya was from then on counted amongst the foremost disciples of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. He condensed the essential teachings of the Upanishads in a small treatise. This treatise is titled Shrutisara Samudharanam and is composed in the same Totaka meter. In the last verses of Totakashtakam, he says, Vidita namaya vishadaika kala nacha kinchana kanchanam asti guru dhritameva videhi kripam sahajam Bhavashankaradeshikame Sharanam. Totakacharya says, I have neither understood even one branch of knowledge clearly, nor do I possess any wealth. O Guru, quickly bestow upon me the compassion which is so natural to you. O Guru Shankara, be my refuge. If someone does great penance, big sadhana, intense study and adhyayana, but does not have the humility or finds the opportunity to serve any guru, then all the sadhana becomes a namesake, like the lamp giving light in a painting. Now, coming to the nishedhas with respect to conducting with a guru. न गुरावकृतप्रज्ञे शक्यं शिष्येण वर्तितुं गुरोर्हि दीर्घदर्शित्वं यत्तच्छिष्यस्य भारत. Do not conceal anything from your Guru, because Guru is far-sighted and offers guidance based on this deep wisdom and insight. Gurunam vaira nirbandho na kartavyah kathanchana narakam svaguru pritya manasapi na gacchati. Never cultivate enmity with gurus. Always conduct yourself with love, sincerity, kindness. Put your best self in front of the Guru. कलहांश्च विवादांश्च गुरुभिः सह वर्जयेत् कैतवं परिहासांश्च मन्युकामाश्रयांस्तथा. Don't approach a guru with worldly desires, anger and deceit. Don't ridicule any guru. Don't argue with them either. गुरूणां यो नहं वादी करोत्याज्ञामतीन्द्रितः न तस्मात् सर्वमर्त्येषु विद्यते पुण्यकृत्तमः. This is all about tuning your instrument to receive the transmission. It is all about collecting your oil, soaking your wick well. Don't hold ahankara and laziness with the Guru. Do everything the Guru says with love and surrender. Even if one finds a Guru, only a fortunate few get to serve the Guru well. Such fortunate beings are truly blessed with grace. असूयामपवादञ्च गुरूणां परिवर्जयेत् तेषां प्रियहितान्वेषी भूत्वा परिचरेत् सदा. Don't go about finding faults in Guru. Serve the Gurus thinking of the collective good. Anuvrittervina dharmo nasti sarvashrameshvapi तस्मात् क्षमावृतः क्षान्तो गुरुवृत्तिं समाचरेत्. No dharmacharana is complete without Guru Seva. No tapasya sadhana is complete without serving the Guru. Hence, with forbearance, serve the Guru. Today's spiritual landscape sometimes appears more like children's playground, where disciples or followers of different paths, different schools are constantly quarreling about whose Guru is better, criticizing, insulting, demeaning each other. The wise rishis have told, Guror yatra parivado ninda vapi pravartate karnau tatra pidhatavyau gantavyam va tatonyatah. If you ever come into a situation where your Guru or any Guru is being insulted, simply shut your ears and walk away from such negativity. The objective here is to bring true ripening in a disciple so as the disciple becomes a worthy offering to the divine, and then the Guru spreads the light. Just as one lamp is lit from another, with his own fire he kindles your lamp and you are illumined. The few shlokas said so far are only a sample to give you an idea about how to conducively operate with the light principle. Shastras are filled with many more deeper concepts and modes of operating in this aspect. Given the brevity of these sessions, not all is covered, but sufficient veil is lifted for you to enter the field and explore more. Now, let us look at the rules laid out for a Guru. Here, what is said as rules for a Guru has a broader application in terms of even how should elders teach younger ones, or how should knowledge in general be imparted. यथा हि कनकं शुद्धं तापच्छेदनिकर्षणैः परीक्षेत तथा शिष्यान् ईक्षेत कुलगुणादिभिः. Just as gold is tested by rubbing it, cutting it and heating it in fire, a Guru must test his student on the basis of the student's qualities, character and actions. Worldly knowledge can be acquired by serving a teacher with respect and care, or by spending money, or by exchanging one knowledge for another. There is no other fourth means available for this purpose. धर्मार्थौ यत्र न स्यातां शुश्रूषा वापि तद्विधा तत्र विद्या न वक्तव्या शुभं बीजमिवोषरे. If the Guru finds a student without Guru Seva Bhavana, the right attitude to surrender and serve, who does not do any dharmacharana and does not even have any wealth, Vidya should not be given to such a student. Teaching such an unworthy recipient is like sowing seeds on a rock bed. Vidyayaiva samam kamam martavyam brahmavadina आपद्यपि हि घोरायां natvena vapet. Instead of sowing seeds of wisdom in such unworthy recipient, it is better that the Guru dies with his jnana. Even during great calamities, a Guru must not give his jnana to any unworthy recipient. Ahimsayaiva bhutanam karyam shreyonuशासनम् vakchaiva madhura shlakshna prayojya dharmamicchata. Guru must always teach with kindness. Methods of a Guru should not be violent. He should speak kind words. Andhasyadandhavelayam jadasyadapi va budhah pariharena tadbruyat yastesham syadvyatikramaha. Guru must behave like blind, stupid and wise based on situations. Sometimes he should ignore the mistakes of the students as if he were blind. Sometimes he must pretend not to understand as if he were stupid or dull. And when the right time comes, he must wear the hat of a wise one and guide them in the right direction by showing them their mistakes and offering the course corrections. Na prishta kasyachit bruyan na chanyayena pruchhatah janannapi hi medhavi jadavallokacharet. A Guru must not tell anything to a person who does not have the fire to seek and know. He must not tell anything to those who question with arrogance. Silence is golden. Silence is the medicine for the aviveki, and that is why truly wise people, even though they have immense knowledge, prefer to remain silent. I am sure this session has helped in ideating about how to approach a Guru and how should any knowledge be received or imparted. Like I said in the beginning of this session, that the principle of light operates in many ways. We too in our daily lives are constantly teaching. We are transmitting knowledge one way or the other as much as we are receiving. Each time we teach anything to anybody and they are benefited from it, let us give credit to this principle of light, to the Sadguru who is beyond form. Let us hold gratitude to all those who have embodied the Guru Tattva and guided us and have taught us something. But let us not limit Guru to a person. Let us always revere all the Gurus in our lives. Let us also connect with the one Guru Tattva hosted within all of them. Remember, God and the guiding light are not different. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.